Friday, massive washout we saw over from yesterday to today. And is it the setup that's going to launch us to Valhalla? We've got so much to talk about today. A lot of TA of not only Bitcoin and Ethereum breaking past $4,000, Aerodrome hitting all-time highs. A couple different small little changes I made in the portfolio, kind of rotating some small amounts of stuff. I'll share that with you today. And hey guys, we are in for it. The setup is here. Let's make sure that we are staying on the right side of everything going on in this market, because now is the time that every mistake you make right now could cost you tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So right now, let's make sure we get into it together. This is a crew. This is a family. Shout out to Tater. Going to be having some little surgery later, so I want to send her some love. Everybody, let's get the market music pumping, because the market is pumping. And with that being said, let's go ahead and vibe. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get into it.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin to flight to quality. I heard that from everything. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been prepared for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pumping. I've been prepared for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Prepared for this.
It's time to get into it, dive in these charts, point out exactly what played out, which is 100% what I've been talking about for the last several weeks now, about these traps in both directions, capturing that free liquidity. We're about to get into it. Let's make some money together. Let's make the right decisions. Everybody, hold on to your butts, because we got some charts to look at. Let's go. What's up, fam, friends, countrymen, ladies and gentlemen? The market is doing its absolute best to shake you off. We could see it right here. You've all seen it, I'm sure. Some of you probably had heart attacks. Some of you probably lost some money. Some of you probably made some money. And most of you, I hope, were just sitting on your hands because you've already been stacked in. But this move right here, we're going to talk about this move. Is this setting up for this next leg up back here to 104? Going back into a new all-time high, taking the next step up here to the $113,000 mark, on its way to 130, on its way to 170, on its way to two. We got to talk about this all day, every day. We are in these markets here together at BitLab Academy. We also see on Ethereum, look at this. We broke that $4,000 mark. Is it something that looks like it's going to continue going, or is this coming up into a level of resistance? I don't know, but I do want to point something out. Much like we saw on Bitcoin, with this shakeout to the upside bull trap, with the shakeout to the downside bear trap, that full whipsaw effect, the full boom, 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 is what I've been pointing and basically really directing you all to be aware of the last, several weeks, because we are at the most bullish setup we've ever had in crypto. That doesn't only mean up unless you're looking at the monthly chart. All of us are tuned into the daily, the 4-hour, some of you the 15-minute, some of you are absolute wild degens in there on the 1 minute, just giving yourself all the stress in the world. And what we can see from this is capturing the bulls to commit long, setting up liquidity down below, So what happens is we scooped up all these people that did not believe this move to the upside because we had those liquidations up here from people shorting in these regions. Shorting. You get all this free liquidity here. So it moved up, tap that. It broke through $100,000, only to then have everybody committing long, which sets up liquidity below. And we can see this very clearly when we load up the liquidation heat map. And if we come out here, let's go to the 3-day. We can see on this, we had, look, see, as this was pushing up, actually, let's go a little bit bigger. Let's go to the 2-week. On the 2-week, see this? All of this, these are people shorting. This is people, it's not going to go higher. It's not going to go higher. They're shorting. And it puts up this sort of spread about where the calculated different levels for people, whether they're 4x, 5x, 10x, 20x leverage shorting. This is liquidity, AKA they have to close those positions. And on a short, when you close a short, that is effectively putting a forced long into the market. So this is free liquidity. What happened? We got liquidity hunts all the way up into this, cleared this out, boom. And this, see this? Once we cleared this, slingshotted this straight up. Forced buying that comes in, whether it's an actual liquidation or people are very close to liquidation and they have to close their short by going long on that size. And what we see, slingshot to the upside. And then in process of doing that, what did we see next? Let's go to zoom out. This is on the 2-week. Let's go down to the 48-hour. We see, it's not the one I wanted to look at. 3-day maybe. Then we start getting these liquidation levels below because people are like, no, it's pulling back for another long. So all these people are longing and you get this liquidity comes down, it hits this. Once it hits this, clears it, boom. Then it starts cascading to the downside and all the way down here. This looks like it's just been a lot of fat sell orders that really effectively got this market to drop into that. Now we've got a couple different nodes here. We're going to talk about that. But when we're looking at Bitcoin and we see this doing that, when we look at Ethereum, let's actually come back over to Ethereum. When we look at Ethereum and realize that this is the same thing that happened, and I want to point something out. I am not a magician. I just look at the data on the I look at the data on the charts, and I had this drawn out a couple days ago. And what do we see? The price action pushed up into this sort of rising squeeze, whether you want to look at this like a rising channel, like this, or you want to look at this at the broader picture of this sort of rising level of resistance. And because you had this level of support being maintained, it basically effectively started this rising wedge. I said, watch for a breakout to the downside and then a bounce and a continuation. The bounce I was, suggesting was going to be roughly in this area of all this chop and possibly a bounce from there. And I did not draw this today. I opened the chart this morning. I said, golly, am I giving some great information? And if any point that I give bad information, I will do every bit possible to call it out because I'll make mistakes as well. In fact, I'm human. I make them all the time. One of the reasons I do this channel is because I made mistakes in the past that cost me tens of thousands, if not well into the 6-figure amount. And I do not want that to happen to you because I do my best to learn from my mistakes. And I want to make sure that you all on your journey don't fall into some of those early mistakes that I did. And look at what happened. It broke down. Oh my God, it's over. That was a bounce point. Now, okay, let's kind of move this over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So by 8 hours, I was off on where that was going to hit. Boom, bounced on there. And now look at this. It's slingshotted back to the upside. The question's going to be what happens here with Ethereum. And is this the further signal for alts to start really taking their move? Because we're starting to see it, I don't want to say across the board, but throughout the board. AERO also breaking out to the upside. Now look, we have the arrow to the downside, but much like the discourse I've been sharing with you on a daily basis here, watch for patterns to break in the opposite direction than they are suggesting. Although a rising wedge typically breaks down, or although a head and shoulders suggests you might have the reversal to the downside, watch for the fake out down, then the launch. In this case, this was as sort of a rising, let's get out to the larger time frame. This kind of was a rising wedge here, but as it stands right now, you still have to remember what just happened with Bitcoin. We had a breakout of a resistance zone. We went up into the hundreds. We came back down, flushed out. So this is still a possibility for AERO to have that because this pattern did suggest it was going to come down. It was breaking the mold. The bullishness is here. It just kind of pushed up. Now, remember, context is everything in these markets. We just had an incredible pick, in my opinion. Some people might not like him, but David Sachs from the All In podcast, also, multi-decade a business capitalist, venture capitalist, entrepreneur, business leader on the global stage, and he works very deeply in venture capitalists. He's aware and has different investments in crypto. He also has a lot of discourse he has with Chamath Palihapitiya, as well as other people talking about AI and the impacts of it and the need for meaningful regulation, not suppressive, crushing regulation as the previous administration has had. So what we're seeing right now with that sort of vote of confidence for the crypto space is a little bit more of that pathway feels clear. And that pathway right now is that boundary that has been there up until this point is becoming less and less over the last 3 or 4 months. It's becoming exponentially less and less suppressive in the market. Risk is starting to come back in, and it feels good because we have been here through the rise and the fall and the chop but you've been here with me every step of the way. I've been here with you every step of the way, and we are going to make sure that we can crush it in this market. Shout out to everybody that's here. Make sure you head over to the @KellyKellam Twitter page or the @Academy BitLab page and come down, hit that retweet, hit that like button, show some love, even if you're not going to retweet, hit the like. The number one thing you can do on any Twitter post, just so you know, secret, if you like a content creator, if you really want to give them some love, I don't care if you use bookmarks or not, hit the bookmark icon, boom, right there. That actually does the most on the back end algorithm for posts if you're trying to just show some love. Now, coming into where we're at, I mean, look at what is happening here. We are at let's reload this just in case there's a little bit of, $3.64 trillion. Bitcoin is hovering right around that $2 trillion mark. Ethereum soon to break 500, AKA $500 billion market cap. The next one up, and everybody thinks it's so big. Still basically almost a 5x away in terms of market cap. XRP 136 billion, Solana 113 billion, BNB 106 billion. Watch how all these different market caps and the rankings jockey around, almost like a horse race over the next 6 months as capital rotates through this market. If you're holding something and it is not moving at this exact moment in time and you see AERO moving, you're like, I want to get into that because AERO's moving. My strategy is AERO's moving. I'm up big on that. I want this other smaller market cap coin that is not yet moving. I might harvest a little bit of profits off something so I can use capital that's in the market to make me more capital on something that has not yet moved. Most people have something that's not moving and then they sell it, they get rid of it, and they get into the thing that's moving. While that may work sometimes, that is not the strategy that wins the race in this market. Shout out to everybody that's here. We got Tater, the Gray family, Token Tide Temptress with the 5 gifted BitLab memberships. We got a BitLab member stream today at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So about 30-ish minutes after we do our live stream here. Going to reset, and then we're going to do a member stream. So if you're a BitLab member here on the YouTube, you will get access to that. Also, if you're a member in the Academy. But we got some things to talk about. If this is your first time here, I guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. My name's Kelly Kellam, director of the BitLab Academy. And I'm a friend, man. That's what we are here to be, friends. We are here to figure out how we can help each other, how we can grow our portfolios and change our lives for ourselves, for our families, for the world community. The better we're doing as a whole, as a group, the more impact we can have on other people. So shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to Tater. Everybody, put your hand on your heart. Send some love to Tater. She's going to get her knees replaced today, and she's going to add about 7 inches to her height. That's not what's happening, but she's got some things going on, and she's going to go get that taken care of today. So sending love to you, Tater. Appreciate and love you here in the family. Now, coming back, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. By the time Bitcoin hits $1 million, its market cap will surpass gold. This battle between this idea of Bitcoin or gold, listen, there's different functions, different means, different reasons people invest in different things. I don't think one's better or worse than the other. There's going to have different trajectories of growth based on where they're at. In this case, you can consider Bitcoin a meme coin against gold because of its much smaller market cap. I am not saying Bitcoin's a meme coin. I'm talking about it relative to the various size of the asset classes, and the fact that Bitcoin is such a smaller market cap. There's a lot more room to grow in the Bitcoin markets. The Bitcoin asset class as a sort of early adopter before it's truly mainstream. In 2004, yeah, the ETFs of gold have only been around since 2004. In 2004, before gold's ETFs were approved, gold's market cap was 1 trillion, much like we just had with Bitcoin. Today, it's 17.8 trillion. If we assume gold's intrinsic value as a precious metal is $1 trillion, then around 16.8 trillion represents its demand as a safe haven asset and a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin's current market cap is roughly $2 trillion, and it could go up 750% if gold demand shifts to Bitcoin. Considering inflation, Bitcoin reaching $1 million isn't about if it will happen, it's about when. Not will Bitcoin reach $1 million? It is when it is going to happen. Now, is it going to happen this cycle? That would be amazing. It's probably that's a pretty damn big movement to happen in under a year. This cycle, I think it might be two and a half, some cycles like that to happen, but it will happen. And that means we've got a lot of work to do to get there. And that work, that volatility to get there means there is opportunity to buy low and sell high. Now, I don't think anybody should be doing that with their entire portfolio, but you can use segments of a portfolio to essentially try to capitalize on this volatility and expand your holdings. But continuing on, we got to talk about what's going on in this market. But before we do, Czech Republic scraps capital gains tax on Bitcoin held for 3+ years. Is this something that could be happening or sort of growing across the world stage? That would be excellent. But it's just nice to see countries, nations embracing Bitcoin and starting to soften or change or build out empowering regulation to this asset class. Trump just announced crypto czar, and it's a good one. David Sachs, I just mentioned that. This will be good, of course, because he's very involved with venture capital, technology, understanding this space as well as AI. I think this is a very net positive for the space. Now, what just happened yesterday? As simple, as silly as this image is, this is what it is. Beautiful stop loss hunting, liquidate all leverage longs, and go. Clean out the system. Get out the toxins. When you're way over leveraged, things are very, very, very tight trigger to basically trigger the market to move the opposite direction to flush out that liquidity. And that's what we see right here. Small traders, stop losses, all this, and just people over leveraged in the space. It did it up, it did it down. Now we've got a much healthier, much healthier market. And this is what it looks like. This is a trick about 1% of people out there use. What do you notice that's different about this chart? This chart cuts out the noise. Here's a quick little lesson. Come over to your chart. You see right here, you might only have one. I have two. How do you have two, Kelly? You see this little arrow? You could put a star. See? So you see, this is moving it over here, but you could put these stars, boom, boom. And when you put a star, it adds it to your deal up here. So in this case, I have the regular candles and I have Heikin-Ashi candles there. You can also come right here. Where is line chart? Boom. You see that? What do you notice is different about this? A line chart, if you want just a very concise, clear view of the price action, you're looking at the actual price action, not the movement in every time frame. Meaning you can see movement over a time period, but when you do the line chart, you see when you come back to candles, you're still seeing the price action. But with this, for instance, on this candle right here, this candle was massive. This candle, let's see, this candle went from all the way down here at 91,000 all the way up here. See, we can put your mouse over it, look up at the top, OHLC. These are not just random numbers. Every time you put your mouse over a different candle, you see all this changes. Put your mouse over that candle, OHLC, open, high, low, close. So on this particular candle, the high was 99,112. The low was 91,463. So it went down here to 91,463. The open, which is where the wider part of the candle, So this is a wick. This is the open. This is the close on a bearish candle. On a bullish candle, the open is down here and the close is up here. Well, how would you know that? Bullish candles go up. Therefore, they open low and close high. Bearish candles go down. Therefore, they open high and close low. So you get all these data points right here, but this is a massive move. If you come out to the daily, look at the daily candle here. That is insane. This is known as a Darth Maul candle, like Star Wars, where you got the, Darth Vader that has the lightsaber with the lightsaber that goes both directions. It's just jokingly, that's what we call it, the Darth Maul candle. And what do you see on this? OHLC. Let's look at the data on this candle. Open, 98,700. Close, I'm going over to the close next, 97. So there's a $1,000 difference, a little over $1,000. Now the high was 103,915. The low was 91,186. So if we come here, we just mark this out, boom, look at that candle. That is a 15% candle in a day of intraday movement within that 24-hour period. The price oscillated 15%. That is insane. $12,900. It's about $13,000, $14,000 that the price action moved within that daily candle. That is incredible. That is so incredible. And the fact that when you come back over to this chart and you realize looking at it as just a line chart is so much clearer, because rejection, bounce, breakout. And what does this look like, everybody? This is the most beautiful thing we have ever seen. When you cut out the noise that distracts you and triggers all your emotions, and you just look at the base level fundamental data, what do you see here? Anytime you want to really characterize a movement in price, this is a level right here. Oops. This is a level. Where's my marker? This is the level right here we're looking at. Okay. You want to see price breakout. You'd like to see it come down, find a confirmation, and then have the continuation. It's hard to see that with all of the noise with the wicks and all this stuff like that, unless you've been doing this a long time like I have. So if you are wondering, throw it on the line chart. I mean, look at the beauty of that. Breakout, retest. At this point, we have broken past this previous high. Now we're looking to break past this high over here, 99,000, a little higher. Now, why doesn't this show the breakout up to $100,000? Because that was intraday. That was within the time period of the day. This is taking into account the daily closes and opens, right? When you're looking at the line chart, you cut out the noise. In this case, we haven't broken $100,000 yet. And that's not going to be a data point that's going to change the TA, but it shows you very clearly what's going on here. This is what we're looking at, going up to that target that we've been talking about for over a week now, $130,000. That is not the top. That is a measured move out of this bull pennant if things don't change dramatically in the very near future. So this is good. The movement that we saw yesterday did a massive benefit to the space because two major things happened. The market got washed out in both directions. Brought a little bit of sensibility back to traders. Makes you step back off the super bullish vibe or the super bearish vibe, because there's a bit of both. Clears out, flushes out all that sort of open interest liquidity, or at least brings it down a good amount. And now you can have healthier trading to have a healthy movement to the upside if that's the direction the bulls are going to take it. The other thing that happened is we just had a $14,000 move from that high down to $91,000. $14,000 drop in Bitcoin. That did recover, but the altcoins said, we ain't falling for that shit. It's about to be time to ride this market to the upside. The strength of the risk community did not capitulate in the face of that big washout on Bitcoin. That is massive, 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 massive. So continuing on, what else do we see here? We got a couple more things, and we're going to be diving into some TA. This is what I'm talking about. I did a short about it today. This is so important. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and what do we see? Washout up, washout down, continuation. What do we see? 10,000. Washout up, washout down, continuation. What do we see? 100,000. Washout up, of the bears, washout down of the bulls. What could be next? Guys, I'm so bullish that my lips are cracking from smiling so much, looking at the setup that is before us. Now, I'm going to give you calm Kelly for the rest of the show because I've been excited. I'm so excited. So I'm going to come in. You're going to get ready voice Kelly now. So what we're looking at here is the perfect setup for the bullish dreams of our future. All we have to do right now is make sure you grab a sip of coffee, check out the morning ride because it's going to be a smooth one. After we clear up that wreck on the freeway in 1997, we're going to go Casey Kasem coming to you with #1 hit singles. Let's go. All right, enough playfulness there. This is another chart here from Tony the Bull. Tony the Bull, Bitcoin, 100,000, boom, boom, boom. What we see at 10,000, same thing, continuation. Just reinforcing the fact of what's going on. We just showed that already. But then what do we see? We see the ETF flows. This is a capital coming into ETFs. We can see this. Look at this. BlackRock alone, plus 3,500 Bitcoin, plus 7,200 Bitcoin, plus almost 6,000, plus almost 8,000 Bitcoin. BlackRock's bought about $2.5 billion in Bitcoin, and it's the end users, their customers that are buying the ETF shares, and the ETF has to then go buy the equal amount of Bitcoin on the market. But through BlackRock, there's been about $2.5 billion worth of buys in the last week. We see how much buys have come from MicroStrategy in the last couple of weeks, and I do expect for some people out there. Actually, let me pull this up. I do expect, I'm going to put that there. And let's go to British HODL because this is important. I should have British HODL on to talk about this. If anybody is holding MicroStrategy and wondering why the price has been dropping, what's going on? Where is this at? I just saw it. He just posted it yesterday. So, okay. Turns out Saylor cannot sell the stock at the money to raise capital as soon as they're advised of their upcoming NASDAQ admittance. They're very likely, it's about a 50-50 split if it's going to happen, about them getting listed on NASDAQ. This means if they're told they're getting in tomorrow, they cannot sell any stock at the money until Friday the 13th when the announcement is made. Why does this matter? Because this could make sense as to why MicroStrategy has had a bit of a dump because they've been dumping a lot of shares into the market to raise the capital to buy Bitcoin next week while they're locked out. So they're likely selling some of their shares, getting capital so they can do another Bitcoin purchase. If this is true, price should be rising next week. And also, if they keep hitting the ATM next week, it could signal that they've not actually been admitted to the NASDAQ. I'm not an American securities lawyer, so correct me if I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. But there's different pressures and different types of assets in this ecosystem. Even though it feels like they're running directly in tandem, there's different pressures in how the organization and the tactics used for capital flow. So just note that when we're looking at what's going on. Again, everybody, if you're just tuning in, we got about 600 people here in the room between YouTube and Twitter. Shout out to each and every one of you. I appreciate you being here. If you would just do the kindest holiday favor and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, show some love to this engagement on this to let the algorithms know you know what's up. And if you do have the conviction of being just an astronomically awesome human, head over here to the Twitter page right here at Kelly Kellam or at Academy BitLab. Hit that retweet, hit that like button. Now, continuing on, as I said, we have the ETF flows. This is an aggregate flow pushing to the upside, meaning there's more and more buys coming in. And guys, we have not seen anything yet. If we look at Bitcoin as it relates to the S&P 500, the correlation there, I actually haven't looked at this in a couple of days. So this is great. So we were wondering for some time when Bitcoin was just sitting flat and the S&P 500 was just pushing up, seems like this sort of risk bullish divergence, boom, ultimately, look, this is trying to catch up with that correlation. I'm not saying it has to be correlated, but the risk narrative is still very much correlated. But look, S&P 500 is still pushing new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high. I do believe that is going to come very soon again for Bitcoin, if not today, sometime, I would say at minimum by early next week. Most likely, I'll say that. Now, where's capital flow? Now, looking specifically at Bitcoin's capital flow, I was breaking this down here on BitLab Academy when this price action pushed up and it was going flat. I was talking here as this was watching for the capital flow to come down here and bounce on this, just touch the negative zone before it launched. And that was because of the previous cycles. This one got a little bit deeper, obviously, and then we had that massive, global catastrophe. So that's a bit of a black swan. But this is more what I was looking at back here in 2016, 2017, 2015, 2016, 2017, pushing into this all-time high. This push up, comes back, taps, launch, comes back, taps, launch, comes back, taps, launch, comes back, one last tap, didn't even quite get negative, launch. So we're repeating the same things. People make a lot of money, people take profits, and you get to the point where it's almost at capitulation, the fear zone, and then you launch, because we are in the strength of the bull trend. Now, when we continue on, is altcoin season kicking off? I think it's in the throes currently of starting, but I think it's going to be a little bit, I don't want to say a slow, it's a slow burn as it relates to markets because we might have to wait 2 weeks or 5 weeks, but that's not slow. That is so fast. And what I'm talking about is not that altcoins won't pump. They're pumping right now. I'm talking about when you see big capital rotation, where you start seeing across the board, 90% of those alts you're holding are doing 15%, 30%, 150%, 30%, 20 on a daily basis, just compounding that growth over the course of about 30 to 40 days. When it hits on the altcoin market and that alt season truly kicks fully into gear, if you're not already positioned, you just missed out on maybe one of the last 4-year cycle alt season. Such an easy thing to decipher on the time scale. These cycles might change in the future because of the dynamics of how much capital is coming into this market over this next year and the Bitcoin arms race that's about to kick off globally, but between nations, companies, corporations, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, individuals, retirement accounts. Everybody is going to figure out that they need Bitcoin, not that they just want it. It's better to get it when you want it now than when you need it later. So the truth is we all need it. Only some people have recognized that, though. So continuing on, what do we see? Let's look at this and as it relates here. A few months left to change your life. The biggest gains are yet to come. Get yourself prepared. It's exactly what I just said. So what we're seeing here is a crypto total market cap, and we're getting that basically crossed right here on the MACD, and it's right after we had a retest. Look at this. Retest, cross on the MACD, launch. Back here, I don't know if you can see it. It's exactly the same thing. A retest, and just under where my image is there, the MACD kicked off that run. We are in the throes of what we are here for. And then when we look here, a little bit more zoomed in, crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is a total 2. We're looking at the Bitcoin dominance as well as the RSI super trend, as well as the total 2. You basically everything in Bitcoin graphed together without Bitcoin. So it's Ethereum and all your alts. Right here, as this basically bounces on this lower level and starts pushing up, remember, this does not include Bitcoin. It's every altcoin out there. This is also where altcoin dominance breaks. And as this breaks, and you see down here, the RSI super trend turns green, boom, boom, rocket. What do we see here? Dominance breaks, and this is a multi-year thing. Look, 2018 all the way into 2020. What do we see here? 2022 all the way into the very end of 2024, about 2 years. It's that bear market accumulation, the start of the bullish move, but then once that bullish move is, I don't want to say confirmed, but for the most part confirmed, and there's volume, strength, and continuation, then you get the alts to get that full risk narrative, and they get launch mode. We're basically right here before the rest of this. We're basically right here before the rest of this. It's just getting started, everybody. So with that being said, we got, I just want to shout out our channel partners. We got some TA we're going to do. We're going to look at some various coins here, charts, signal setups. But I do want to just remind you, there's so many people out there. getting their identities hacked. They're getting their cryptos, phones hacked, wallets hacked, and you can make sure you just try and protect yourself. Channel partner of ours, NordVPN. You can sign up with us, nordvpn.com/BitLab. The link is directly below the video. If you come right down in here and you click more, get NordVPN. You get 4 months for free. It's like $2 or $3 a month, but you get 4 months free. And you just use this link right here, nordvpn.com/BitLab. Make sure you protect yourself there. You can use it on your phone and on your computer. You can set what location you want to be at if you want to obfuscate where your location is so people aren't trying to get into your stuff. And then, of course, make sure you protect your crypto. Make sure you protect your future. GetArculus.com. Use code LAB. I can't speak. Use code BitLab20 for 20% off. It's my favorite and preferred crypto cold storage solution. It's one tap, total security. You can use, essentially uses biometric lock, numeric PIN, and the Arculus card paired with your phone. If you lose your phone, it doesn't matter. If you lose a card, it doesn't matter, because you need all these things. And it doesn't mean you lose access to your crypto either, because all you do is you just load it up from a backup, boom, and it pairs it with the new card or a new phone, so on and so forth. So make sure you head over to getarculus.com, use code BitLab20 for 20% off. Now let's look at what's happening here. I see we got Aerodrome pushing into new all-time highs. It's almost, I don't know, somebody said it was new all-time highs. Are they lying to me? It's pushing towards all-time highs. The all-time high would be up here, option J. That would be 238, but making a nice move here. Do we need to be concerned? Well, we're on the 12-hour here. We flipped into positive money flow here on the BitLab trading stack. Positive money flow. See, this is negative money flow. This is money starting to come back in. We got a lot of buying here, which is why these bars are green on the momentum wave. The RSI is trying to angle to the upside. The stochastics are starting to get the hint, but what does it look like on a little bit smaller time frame? All right, we got the VWAP rounding out, still positive money flow. A lot of buyers coming in. This is why this is green right here. And generally green, this is on the 2-hour chart, generally green on the dashboard here, which is just looking at the general positioning relative to each other. Are you in a more bullish or neutral or bearish state? And you look at all the signals kind of combined to get that flow. Now, as it stands right now, this nice move to the upside, but let's get a little bit more granular. 24-minute chart. So here we go. On the 24-minute chart, stochastics and RSI both fairly high, starting to roll over. Still a lot of buying with all this green, but the VWAP starting to angle down. I would be waiting for what I would prefer. Markets don't do what you prefer generally, but what I prefer is for this to form into a bit of a bull flag and then have a continuation to the upside. But we need to watch right now. This does look, we can see it's starting to sort of arc over just a touch, suggesting a little bit of weakness, but it's okay if it's weak with just like a bull flag sort of consolidation, which then you could target that next leg to the upside. So we're going to want to keep our eyes on this, because this may be a result of that confirmation news that gave a little bit of juice to the altcoin market, because we might start getting better and clearer and more supportive regulation. So VC money can also come in, and development, and that's what we're looking for, guys. Crypto Billy, I see you in here, brother. It's nice to see you in the chat with the fam, my friend. We're gonna have to get you here on the show as a guest. I always love you and your messaging and just your positivity. Link, a relatively safe 2x from here. Let's look at Link. Everybody, get some questions in there. Don't just throw the ticker. Put a ticker and a question about it. We'll try and bounce through quite a few of the community coins here. Now, ONDO also, look, I talked about this likely being a little bit of a resistance. We circled it and it's coming down. Does that mean it's all over? Absolutely not. It's not all over. But this is just getting a little bit more consolidation, I think, before the next leg. But where did Link go? That's actually what I meant to pull up. Looks just like ONDO. I mean, look at that. Very similar. Very similar. So with Link, excuse me. There we go. With Link, we got a bit of downtrend resistance. Why did I do it like this? Why didn't you tap it right here? Because I tried to get as many touch points as possible. You have deviations in this market. This is where the most touch points are. This is the resistance level. And you can see as it's coming in. Now, this would be nice. If this breaks out, does that mean it's all systems go? No. But you asked, what did you ask specifically about Link? Is Link a relatively safe 2x from here? Yes. I think I'm so much more bullish than that. I think if you want my honest idea, I think 150 Link is very doable. I think over the period of the next several cycles, I think it'll be well beyond that with the number of integrations it has and Swift and DTCC and how many different, I mean, almost the large majority of the crypto ecosystem is also using Chainlink, as well as the traditional finance system, as well as other businesses in the Web2 analog sort of world. But we got a bit of a sort of consolidation here with Link right now. Is this a bit of a bull flag, bull pennant? You can draw it a number of different ways. But if that's the case, option T, mark it out, take the move. And this suggests alone, I mean, this suggests the next target could, come on. This suggests the next target could be another 50% move up from here. The all-time high on this, if I'm not mistaken, was about $55. Let's go to the 3-day. Yeah, about $55, option J, boom. So how do we get there? Well, I think right now the name of the game with Link is patience, because look at this consolidation all the way in, forming a trend line up, creating this resistance, kind of forming this giant symmetrical triangle. This is going to blow your mind. This is a little bit of a moon boy thing, but this is a true measured move. Actually, let's not delete that. A true measured move from this on that symmetrical triangle does suggest a $518 Link. Do I think it's going to get there? I don't think it's going to get there this cycle. But remember, these patterns, markets can play out over years, especially as we start building in true macro to these different segments of the market. $513 Link, possible? Yes, but probably not this cycle. If it happens this cycle, I'll be holding. I'm stacked up in Link. What's more likely, let's do a fib from the top here to the bottom. Draw this out. What do we see? Look at where our target is right here in the 1.618. This would take us, that full measure move would take us well past even the 6.618. But yeah, I think, see right here, right in this 174, 130 to 174 zone, I think is where Link will probably end up. And that will be a big move. That's not anything to balk at. That's, everyone's like, I have to get into meme coins to make money. No, you don't. You need to be in the right assets. You could do it with meme coins, but meme coins are like lottery tickets. It's like, what's the true value of that if 970 out of 1,000 of them are scams? I can't put $100 into 970 coins, hoping for one to make it. That's stupid. Now, do I participate? Well, I just jumped in on dog, but that's because it's an ecosystem thing, because the philosophy of the dog ecosystem is that of Bitcoin. I was like, you know what? I'll get behind that. I'll do something that's organic, community driven, free, fair launch. It's none of this paid KOL. See, nobody can even rug it, because even when it was airdropped, 90,000 people equally got that airdrop. So now it's just an organic sort of movement in that ecosystem. Now, this would be all the way to 518. That'd be a 20x from here. Going into that zone that we talked about, that would still be a 6-7x from, more than that. Yeah, 6-7x from here. Had you bought at the bottom on Link, this is why, because you're going to start becoming bottom hunters and stop being excited here to scared here. No, I get excited here, and I don't want to say scared, but I start getting cautious when those go up. So even, let's do it from this bottom right here, up into that top, that 20x, see, 21x. So we just need to be smart. Render also, I think I saw somebody post something about Render in here. Render, part of that, we have a crypto czar, AI czar, likely going to have some very strong movement on this. God damn it. Come here. Option F. I don't know why. Do any of you know why sometimes when you click on the chart, it just shoots over to the left there? So if we measure from here to here, this is on the Coinbase chart. We already pushed up into this 2.618, blah, blah, blah. Look at this, tapped right on the 3.618. You see that magic? So I'll do it a little bit more conservatively, since I don't think this is a full age of the chart. This is just when it got listed on Coinbase. If we measure this move from this high to this low, the 2.618 is up here at 30, 3.618 is up here at 40. I think this has plenty of room to run. Remember, they also have partnerships and integrations with Apple. But this is just now breaking through this golden pocket. Look, fighting right now at the 786. See? The next level we're really watching is this $13 level, which is this previous range high right in the zone. It even might have been, yeah, previous. I mean, that would have been the all-time high. Once we clear this, the next two levels up we're watching from 13 is 1751, and then right up here in this pocket, the 1.618, the $20 level. This area will be interesting because at the $20 level, 1992, this is the 1.618 of this move. And this is a pretty big move from where the price came from, you know, back here. I mean, $1.32. That's a 20x into this zone. So how high can it go? Let's see how the AI narrative sort of cooks and spins up in this cycle. Maybe there's a big movement when the Sora is released. Maybe there's other AI agent protocols that start utilizing render GPU processing. There's a lot of different things at play, but I'm very bullish on this. It's one of my mid to mid larger plays in my portfolio. XDC looking hot, said Crypto Billy. Let's look at XDC. It's one of those coins I wish I added. You only have so much bandwidth of time and capital. And so sometimes you want it and you just never pick it up because you're just, you know, oh my God, look at this baby. Boo. Good call there, Crypto Billy. Look at that, 255% since November 8th. Now let's get out this on the 8 hour. Let's actually go back. Daily, double click here. Okay, boom. We're going to do option F from the top, started from the top to the bottom. Now we're here. Boom, right there. Now we got our fib. Let's kind of zoom out here. Look at that golden pocket right here, 12 cents. We can do the 786, but the previous high, did I get that? There we go. So about 13 cents there. The previous high, about 20 cents, a little under at 19. And then we got the 1.618, which I think will be a conservative level to get to, which is the 30-cent mark. And we're at 9 cents right now. Now, remember, I'm saying this is a conservative level. We'll have to see. This is a health checkpoint. As the price is pushing up into this, where are we at in the market cycle? Where's the Pi cycle top indicator on Bitcoin? Where is the capital flow and everything happening in the market in general? Is this happening when we get up into this? Is this October next year or is it February? These different things on the time basis of where we're at in the cycle and the momentum getting up to that point and whether or not a narrative that this asset is in is just kicking off or you're getting the tail end of it. All of that informs you at the 1.618. You're like, oh, this is probably a top. You're also looking at bearish divergences, potential money flow coming out on the 3-day or the weekly. And then if all that is just bullish, then you're looking up to the next one, 2.618 at 48 cents. And then same thing. Next one up here at 65 cents. So there's so much bullishness coming in here. Tater said VELO. Let's look at VELO. Which VELO are you talking about? I'm guessing, just because you've been watching this channel, I'm guessing you mean Velodrome. So let's look at Velodrome. Boom. Look at that. Kind of falling behind a little bit of what Aerodrome's doing, but that's okay. The super chain with optimism and everything they're doing, I think, Velodrome is a DEX on optimism. I think this will do quite well as that narrative takes off. But look at this rounding bottom coming up where right to the 382. Next level up is the golden pocket right here, the 27 cent. The next level up, we can do the 786. But again, the 1.618 on this is 62 cents. We're sitting at 16 cents now. And same thing at this level, we look at all those data points. Is this something that will likely continue or reverse? But this is still doing well with, look at this negative, still kind of negative money flow. What do we look like on the 4 hour? Double click here. Money flow came in. Everything's looking like, look at this, trying to make that move. And we have a target. We have a target based on, these fibs. We're watching this zone right here, the 18 cent mark, 18.5. Maybe potential rejection, maybe breakthrough and then come back and find it as support. But then we're going to be looking towards the 27 cent mark. Let me see what else you guys got in here. Link versus AVAX for safest 2X. For me, it's a split. I have Link and AVAX. I think they're both great. They do different things. So for me, I was split between the two. I think they will both 2X. I think conservatively, I could say they would 3 to 5X. I think more realistically, my approach is probably from current pricing. I mean, is probably, I would say 4 to 7X from here is what I'd say on those. Then I want to look at layer 0. And Drift, where did they go? I had them here, I promise. There we go. Here's Layer Zero. Fairly newer coin, relatively speaking. Had this range starting to break out. David Sachs has this in there. He's invested in Multicoin, and this is one of those coins that they have. And look at this nice little bull pennant here. It's breaking out. This may have a bit of a retrace down into this area and then have that next move. But I do think, although this has been moving, it's a newer project, and it still has, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. It still has, where's Layer Zero? Oh, not on my, here we go. Watch this. That was why. This has a market cap of about under $1 billion, 777 million. But look at this, total supply, 1 billion, max supply, 1 billion. Excellent. It's a newer coin. They're already listed on a lot of major exchanges. A lot of players are looking at this as sort of interoperability of apps and different mechanisms between all kind of different things. And this also, if I'm not mistaken, this also has some of the AI narrative baked into it as well. But this is looking like it's a good setup for, before, especially remember early newer coins. Is this high? 770 million. Considering Dogecoin went to $80 billion market cap last cycle, I'm not saying this is going to go to 80 billion. My point is there's so much more liquidity coming into this market than you can even imagine. And when you have things like David Sachs, who is a corporate VC, capitalist, and he's invested in projects that have, stuff like Layer Zero in them, that says something about the institutional sort of, it's got the nod. Now you look at something like Drift, which is also in his protocol, and shout out to Isaac here in our family here. He's the one that put this on my radar. I just never got it. But I actually did add this to the portfolio. And we see this is at 456 million. It's a DEX on Solana. I think it has some relationship to Base. I'm not entirely sure, but you can find this on Coinbase as well as Layer Zero. When we look at Drift, just want you to notice also bull pennant here, starting a breakout on this. It doesn't mean it has to break. It might even pull back a little bit, but this is, I'm looking at a position for the next several months on this. So I rotated some stuff, and I'm going to break all that down in the member stream that's in about 30 minutes. So every single one of you, get involved, become a member on this channel. It's a great way to help shout out. Sorry, it's a great way to help support the channel and also get extra love and extra signal and all these things with these member streams that we're doing. Where is that? It's right here. There is a join our boom. I always forget where this damn link is. Join our Discord. Join. Here we go. How to join to become a member. Let's do it. Let's click on it. Boom. I'm going to post it in the live chat right there. I'd love to see a few of you join that member stream so you can see some more TA. I'm going to talk about capital rotation, some altcoin moves, some setups, and more in that private member stream that we're going to get going here in just a few minutes. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Now we're going to head over, for the rest of you that are hanging out here, head over to Blockchain Basement for a little bit. And then I hope to see many of you in the member stream here in just a little bit. That's all we got today. Watch for the fake outs in both directions. The trend is up right now. I love you. Adios. If you like pina colada. Hope you're all doing well, man. This is such an exciting time in the market. Let's roll.